6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Malavarachi and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. The 15th National War Heroes celebrations will be held in Battaramulla today. The President will address the World Water Forum in Indonesia tomorrow. The National Building Research Organization has issued a landslide warnings to 4 districts in the island, and several people in some districts have been affected by the inclement weather. People are asked to refrain from using polythene and plastic for Vesak decorations. The third stage of the first school term for the year 2024 will begin tomorrow. In news overseas, Zelensky says Russia could increase Ukraine attacks. And in sports news, the Sri Lanka mixed relay team will leave for Bangkok today. Those are the headlines, and now let's move on to the details of the local news. The 15th National War Heroes commemoration ceremony will be held today in front of the Battaramulla National War Heroes Memorial under the patronage of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena to honor the war heroes who sacrificed their lives to protect the motherland from the terrorism for 30 years. With the cooperation of the heads of the government, including the Defence Secretary, the commanders of the armed forces, the Inspector General of Police, and other war heroes and the parents of the war heroes who died in the war, retired officers of the armed forces are going to participate in these celebrations. It is planned to implement a program to motivate the war heroes who are disabled and the family members who have lost their loved ones in the war. In a statement, the Navy says that 3,146 senior and junior sailors of the Navy have been promoted by the Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Priyantha Perera, with the approval of the President, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is scheduled to deliver a keynote address tomorrow at the 10th World Water Forum high-level meeting in Bali. The President will articulate Sri Lanka's perspective on achieving equitable access to water resources for all, the President's media division said. He has left for Indonesia to attend this meeting at the invitation of Indonesian President Joko Widodo. This significant 3-day gathering themed Water for Shared Prosperity will convene global leaders to address pressing issues related to water management and sustainability. During the forum, President Wickremesinghe is expected to engage in bilateral discussions, including a meeting with President Widodo to explore avenues for collaborative action in water resource management. His delegation, comprising of senior officials from the Presidential Secretariat and the Foreign Ministry's Affairs, reflects Sri Lanka's comprehensive approach to addressing global water issues. The Disaster Management Centre says several people in some districts have been affected by the prevailing inclement weather. 47 individuals of 11 families have been affected in the Kandy district, and 11 houses were also partly damaged. 21 persons in the Ratnapura districts have been affected, with 4 houses being damaged. The National Building Research Organization has issued landslide warnings to 4 districts in the island. Accordingly, the warning has been issued to Alla Division Secretariat in the Badula district. The Kandy, Kagala and Ratnapura districts are also under this warning. The Department of Irrigation says that several reservoirs in the island are overflowing due to the existing heavy rains. At present, the water capacity in all the reservoirs are at 75%. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And we continue with more local news. The Central Environmental Authority requests all citizens to refrain from using polythene and plastic to make Vesak decorations, including lanterns, pandals, banners and posters, considering that they will badly affect the environment, rivers, lakes and other waterways. A recent survey conducted by the authority has revealed over 7 million tons of non-biodegradable polythene and plastic comes through to the rivers, waterways and streams and ultimately flows into the ocean. CEA Chairman Venero Fernandez said that this is a sole responsibility of the people not to use non-biodegradable polythene and plastic for decorations in the forthcoming Vesak season. He also said Vesak decorations could be easily made from various biodegradable raw materials which are aplenty in the country. The Global Peace Ambassador and spiritual leader Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar arrived in Sri Lanka last afternoon on a 3-day visit. State Minister of Defence Pramita Bandara Thinnakon received the spiritual leader at the Bandanaka International Airport in Katunaka upon his arrival in the island. Governor of the Eastern Province Sendil Thondaman also joined the State Minister at this occasion. The third stage of the first school term for the Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim schools for the year 2024 will begin tomorrow. The third stage of the Sinhala and Tamil schools will end on the 31st of this month, and the third stage of the first term will end on the 30th of June. The second school term for the Sinhala and Tamil schools is scheduled to begin on the 3rd of June. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The 15th National War Heroes celebrations will be held in Battaramulla today. The President will address the World Water Forum in Indonesia tomorrow. The National Building Research Organization has issued landslide warnings to 4 districts in the island, and several people in some districts have been affected by the inclement weather. People are asked to refrain from using polythene and plastic for Vesak decorations. The third stage of the first school term for the year 2024 will begin tomorrow. And that was the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Veda Mahatmya.
The main news story for this morning, health officials predicted the ongoing showers are likely to drive a rise in dengue cases in the country. Dr. Sudat Samaravira, the director of the National Dengue Control Unit, said local authorities and health organizations continue to work tirelessly to combat the spread of dengue. Public awareness campaigns, mosquito control measures and prompt medical assistance for those affected remain the key strategies to battle against the disease, he stressed. As several parts of Sri Lanka have experienced significant rainfall for the past few days, health officials urge the public to keep their surroundings clean and destroy mosquito breeding places in order to keep dengue at bay. According to the latest data from the epidemiology unit, a total of 23,731 dengue cases have been reported as of second week of this month. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Veda Mahatmya.
And in Washala this morning, the Kalambaya Show and Defence Exhibition, which are scheduled to be held from the 29th of May to the 2nd of June at the Coalface and Colombo Port City, have been postponed to next year, the Sri Lanka Air Force said. The exhibition, organized by the Sri Lanka Air Force, was rescheduled owing to multiple requests from international partners and defence industry stakeholders, as well as foreign air forces, to accommodate greater opportunities for their participation and provide a diverse experience to the spectators. The SLAF said that this event will be held from the 26th of February next year to the 2nd of March 2025. That came to you in Watchlight, and now let's move on to the headlines of the world news. Zelensky says Russia could increase Ukraine attacks. Flash floods kill at least 50 in Afghanistan. Indian film Manthan at Cannes made by 500,000 farmers. Those are the headlines, and now let's move on to the details of the world news. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia could increase its attack in Ukraine's northeast following its recent gains near the city's Kharkiv. Russian troops have been trying to push forward as Ukraine's outgunned forces attempt to shore up a weakened front line. Mr. Zelensky admitted that there were issues with military staffing and morale, saying a number of existing brigades are empty. He also told the AFP news agency that the country's air fleet was lacking and renewed calls for allies to send more air defense and fighter jets. At least 50 people have died in flash floods triggered by heavy rains in central Afghanistan, officials have said. Authorities in the Gore province say a number of others are missing as people ran to safety on higher grounds just minutes before the floodwaters hit. They said the floods have killed thousands of cattle, destroyed some 2,000 houses and damaged many more. A fresh bout of heavy rainfall is widespread flooding in the northern and central areas this week. Officials say that the provincial capital, Firozpur, around 2,000 shops are under water and most roads leading to it have been cut off. In the mid-1970s, 500,000 dairy farmers in India's western state of Gujarat contributed 2 rupees each to make a groundbreaking film, Manthan. The churning, directed by venerated filmmaker Shyam Benegal, became the country's first Crown-funded film. The 134-minute 1976 film was finalized narratives of the genesis of a dairy cooperative movement that transformed India from a milk-deficient nation to the world's leading milk producer. The story drew inspiration from Venkish Kurin, known as Milkman of India, for revolutionizing milk production in the country. Nearly 50 years after it was made, the pristine restored Manthan receiving a red carpet world premiere this week at the Cannes Film Festival. And that was the world news.
Development news.
In development news, the Hospice Sri Lanka Alliance, along with College of Palliative Medicine for Sri Lanka, recently promoted evidence-based palliative medicine and care in Sri Lanka to enhance the quality of life for patients in the country. The ceremony was conducted under the patronage of Health Ministry Secretary Dr. Palitha Mahipala and HASLSA Chairman Professor Samadhi Rajapaksa. Palliative care is specialized medical care that focuses on providing relief from pain and other symptoms of serious illnesses. And that was the development news.
Moving on with sports news.
The Sri Lanka mixed relay team will leave for Bangkok today to participate in the inaugural Asian Athletic Relay Championship Paris Olympics Games qualifying meet on the 20th and 21st of May in Thailand. The Sri Lanka contingent for the inaugural Asian Athletic Relay Championship will include 23 athletes and 5 coaches. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Orion Development has signed $1.78 million agreement with the Board of Investment for the expansion of its IT park, Orion City. Orion Development continues disruptive innovation in technology in Sri Lanka, furthering its IT park to facilitate innovation and creativity with a new ecosystem. Signed an agreement with the BOI for $1.78 million, expanding Orion Colombo and Orion Nest to the next level, the BOI said in an update on X. Inaugurated in the year 2009, Orion City is one of Sri Lanka's foremost IT parks and one-stop hub for innovation and collaboration in the country. That was the business news. Economic news follows.
Business news, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, treasury bills valued at 160 million rupees will be issued expiring in 91, 182 and 364 days. These bills can be purchased from primary dealers and licensed commercial banks. The central bank said that the auction will be conducted on Tuesday. That was the economic news and the weather report to conclude.
Weather report.
And finally, the weather report. Due to the pre-monsoonal conditions over the country and the surrounding sea areas, prevailing showery and windy conditions are expected to enhance further during the next few days. Cloudy skies can be expected over most parts of the island. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the western, Sabarkamua, central, northwestern and southern provinces and in the Mannar district. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere in the island after 1 p.m. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters are likely at some places in the western, Sabarkamua and northwestern provinces and in the Gaul, Mathura, Kandy, Nuwara Eliya and Mannar districts. Fairly strong winds about 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in the southern province. And before we conclude, let's get back to the headlines once again. The 15th National War Heroes celebrations will be held in Battaramulla today. The President will address the World Water Forum in Indonesia tomorrow. The National Building Research Organization has issued landslide warnings to 4 districts in the island, and several people in some districts have been affected by the inclement weather. People are asked to refrain from using polythene and plastic for Vesak decorations. The third stage of the first school term for the year 2024 will begin tomorrow. In news overseas, Zelensky says Russia could increase Ukraine attacks. And finally on sports news, the Sri Lanka mixed relay team will leave for Bangkok today. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news. Now it's back to your regular Sunday morning host Abhishek to brighten up your day.